Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and this seems like it is going to be the last legendary lost sector that we have to cover, the Aphix Conduit. This one is April 9th, and then we'll kind of go back to that 3-day rotation. So this is one typically also a taken lost sector, but these are pure Vex this time. So we have match game. You really don't have a ton of shields to deal with. You have a couple arc harpies, so whatever you feel comfortable with killing those. But you're going to have some barrier hobgoblins. They are more in the sniper category this time, so they are definitely something to watch out for. If you have Ariana's Vow, that's honestly what I would recommend for this one, but I want to show you guys it can be done without. Now I am on PC. Somebody commented yesterday that my recoil on my submachine gun was very manageable, so consoles are definitely going to see that difference. But the big thing is if you have Ariana's Vow, the range, the fact that it's anti-barrier, it's going to be able to shoot through the boss's shields, and it just kicks some butt. Since it does have special ammo, it hits pretty hard. So if you have that, honestly, that's my recommendation to use it. I'm just going to try and do it without it. So quick run through of what I am running. Overload, you're going to have 2 Minotaurs that will charge you. Overload rounds on hand cannons and sidearms seem to be actually pretty good. So if you even wanted to mix this thing up, you could change things over. So say I wanted to go anti-barrier here, and then I wanted to go overload up here with an auto rifle, give myself a little bit more range. I could even do that. The overload there. Auto rifle's not as ideal for overload though, so if I wanted to switch this up, I could potentially go anti-barrier here, or overload on the sidearm, have some arc if I need to kill the harpies, and then have something anti-barrier up here if I wanted that one to get a little bit more range on it. So really up to you guys and how you want to toy around with this, but Ariana's Vow here right in the middle is actually pretty awesome, so that is my major recommendation to go for. I'm going to do it on a pretty horrible loadout with a Better Devil's Breath of the Dragon and a sword. Now swords are still nice every time you stagger any of those champions to take them out. Not very helpful for the boss because it is a Hydra. Get any super that you can get that's going to have some damage. You don't really have any void shields even this time, so really anything you feel comfortable with getting some damage is going to be beneficial. Double grenades with Striker, Sunbreaker, and then any other class you guys feel comfortable with. Celestial Nighthawk would probably actually be pretty good just to dump one big giant shot into the boss and then keep working him through with some barrier rounds. So let's jump in and see how this thing goes. As always, I'm not going to run with the heavy frames or the Valkyries. If you guys have those, use them. They make life a lot easier, but we're going to do it without just to show you guys in case you haven't unlocked them, you can still do this. Alright, so when you load in, you're going to get to the opening section. There's going to be one barrier hobgoblin here in the front, so try and use any of these opening pillars as cover as we try and work these adds down. Now, you will have one Void Minotaur, actually, Smooth forgot. So one Void Minotaur right here in the beginning, literally the only one, so something Void, be it grenades, that is kind of why I'm going this subclass. My sword is Void, but you are going to want arc for the harpies, so it's really just a minor thing. But as match game is on, you do need something void. So forgive the opening there. I was a little misspoken on that one. So typically what I'll do is just let the Minotaur teleport to me, get a little aggressive, and take him out in one big shot. So I'm going to use the sword for barrier champions anyway, so it seems to work fairly well. Again, just try and use the cover that you've got to try and take out the adds. There are snipers all up at the top of the stairs, so just, you know, hanging back, being a little cautious is going to help you a little bit here. Your barrier enemy is going to be up top, but these little boxes are good to clear out the adds on the upper deck. And then there's your barrier as well. When, again, they get close to that first third of health to be gone, that is when they're going to pop their barrier. So if you can get up here and try and use even something for cover. As you can tell, those snipes get to be a little aggressive. So if you got to do a little peeking on this one, that may be what you need to do. But just be ready and try not to be too far away. See, he's like right on the brink of putting up the barrier shield. So when he is going to go ready for it, just be close enough that you can push up with that anti-barrier weapon. Put some work in with the sword. As soon as you see the finisher option come up, usually it's, you know, in that last little like 1/6 of health, something in that nature, you should be good to go. Come around the corner, there's an overload Minotaur just waiting for you. So just peek enough to show him that he's here. Maybe shoot him once. Get your overload weapon ready. Okay, apparently he just is going to take a bullet and not worry about me. Here we go, buddy. And this is why overload hand cannons and sidearms seem to work just those few rounds. And then you really open up the option to do what you need to do. Finishers, always fun. Got a little heavy ammo on the ground for my sword, so that's nice. The harpies, as I said, are going to have arc shields, but stay up here. Watch the boss in the back. Exploding boxes work well. Proof of the pudding right there. Now, down below on the stairs, bosses over there is the big one-head Hydra. So be careful about them. Down at the bottom, you are going to have this harpy along with the barrier champion down in the bottom. So using the cover you've got down below is really going to help. So you can try and set up the hobgoblin a little bit. Watch for the couple goblins that will be off to the side. Now, one thing you could do is make sure my barriers are reloaded. I'm going to make sure this goblin is not going to kill me. There's a weird piece of geometry down here. If you fall down, just watch out. Apparently that dude teleported up to get his hands in the mix there. So I'm going to hit him with a grenade, which I know is going to cause him to go anti-barrier. Charge up on him pretty quick. Still using my cover right here. And then try and get as much damage here as I can. And finish him off. Now again, if you do die, not the end of the world, but try and use these different levels as cover. Harpy up here, but try and watch your line of sight with the boss. Now one thing about the boss, the Hydra shield is something you can shoot through. So I can come up here, use this tiny little wall as cover, but as soon as the boss moves, be ready. But even if I can't see the face or not, doesn't matter, I can shoot straight through the barrier, and I can put in some work this way. So that's a nice thing you can do. Now, at some point, I'm probably going to pop my super and just go to town on him for a little bit. But if that doesn't happen, or the super's not quite up yet, you know, take a few pot shots here and there that you can, trying to clear out the ads on this level. He hurts. So if you got to do this one slow and patiently, trust me, I understand. It's what I would recommend too. Watch out for the ads here. Now, one thing I might actually do, hang back here, hug this wall, and shoot this box just so it doesn't explode and kill you. You just don't want anything like that to actually be waiting for you, trying to actually get you killed. So here, your anti-barrier weapon, just shoot on through, and you can do what you need to do. Got a couple ads over there kind of waiting. If you could run over to the Valkyrie, that would probably work fairly well. But again, doing this without that for your guys' sake. But one thing I did end up doing at some point, pop a super, do some damage, a Nova Bomb, a Tether, something like that could work. Whatever you can. I'm just going to smack this guy around with my shield for a minute. Doesn't actually seem to be slamming, so I just kind of keep staggering him this way. Just kind of hanging within his shield, getting as much damage as I can. Going to try and grab the ammo and then get out pretty quick. Now, once you get enough damage on the boss, he is going to retreat back up the stairs to a different level. We also have our champion that appeared. This is going to be our final overload. You should be waiting for you. So again, now is when you're really going to use these different levels, different little pillars as cover. They're really going to help you out a lot on this little section. Don't forget about the exploding boxes. Use those to your benefit. Try and clear out levels. If the harpies feel like hopping down, joining the party, just mow them down. But be ready. Clear out all the exploding boxes you can. Champion should be around here somewhere. So boss is fairly low, actually. Champion is back there in the back, so if I can kind of aggravate him and pull him to me, even if I pull him down a couple levels, that is kind of the goal. Usually takes about 3 or 4 shots, and he is actually not staggered. That was a weird glitch that he says he got disrupted, but joys of the game not believing me. Now, he likely will retreat back, so you might have to do a little fun pulling him or not. But if you show yourself, just be ready. If he does come, get aggressive. About 3 shots and you should be good. If you can get him behind a pillar, perfect place to wear him down with that sword and get a finisher off. Now at this point, anything else is kind of gravy. So if I got a grenade I can throw on the boss, of course that's a big whiff. But again, trying to get what I can. Submachine gun, I know, sidearm if they're more controllable. But it's just a little taking peeks right now. He did teleport up. I'm going to die by explosive damage there. So again, if he pulls to the top level, use these little corners and pillars to clear out some of the ads that are trying to make it, you know, tough on you. But again, take the little peek here. Try and get on different levels. Notice the angle that he's shooting. He's actually hitting the ground in front of me, so I can just sit here and unload. So if you get a little bit of cover, the right little level changes here, you can actually get a pretty good run at this one. Barrier's still going to go through the shields. Be careful when you do start taking damage. I need ammo like crazy right now. Give me ammo. Hey, got some ammo. Ow. Those little guys still leave their pools of doom. Not the most effective way in the world, but it is a way to finish this one. Got some sword ammo, but that's not very effective against the Hydra, sadly. Again, if it is just him, just play ring around this little pillar and take the shots where you can get them. Don't be too worried about going back and forth. You're shooting through the barrier, not taking too much damage because he hasn't shifted back, really activated his firing yet. If you can get a grenade through his shield, it's always kind of tough on timing of the rotation. That ought to do it. And he's done. So make sure you grab both chests, any ammo you need, but make sure you open them both fairly quick because there is a timer. Don't be worrying about loot. That stuff can get picked up later. Chests are done, and this should be your last one. So back out to the bunker, and we'll finish this up. All right, so that basically does wrap it up. So I did honestly forget you do have one Minotaur that is going to be void, so have something void for them. So if your super is something else, that is going to be a bit of an issue. I had a void sword, so that's okay. Black Talon actually might be amazingly good in here if you've got it. It's a void sword. You can't put Disrupting Blade on there, but if you can break, stagger the enemy with an overload, Black Talon is going to be a way to throw some damage at range, potentially, and give you a little more flexibility on this one because everything in this whole damn season is close up. Anti-barrier, completely up to you, but you do have to kill harpies, so if it's arc here, make sure you got something that's arc for those. I did submachine gun. You go to Last Dance, also really up to you. Last Hope, I think, might also be arc, so whatever you need, probably an arc here in the middle for the harpies. And then overload hand cannons and sidearms working pretty well, but hand cannons are going to give you a bit more range. Subclass is up to you, but, you know, anything that's going to be able to do a little work on that overload Minotaur, or on the first Minotaur with a void shield, that's kind of what you guys can do. So hopefully this is beneficial to you guys. Barrier and overload, full Vex all the time on this one, Hydra at the end. Thank you guys very much, and I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Have a good one.